Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So now today we are talking about romantic poetry, and in romantic poetry we are talking about MCQs on William Wordsworth. So lifespan of William Wordsworth. So he was born in 1770 and died in 1850. What is the name of Wordsworth's sister? So she is Dorothy Wordsworth, who was there with Coleridge too, like these three were included in those lake poets. She was auxiliary member, a helping member. William Wordsworth was poet of nature. He was poet and prophet of nature. Complete the definition of Wordsworth's, his definition of poetry. So poetry is a spontaneous or flow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotions reflected in tranquility. यानी सुकून होगा तो फिर आपके वो जो emotions हैं they storm out in shape of poetry. Which of the following is the birthplace of William Wordsworth? So this is Cockermouth, which is hilly area. Next one, Preface to Lyrical Ballads was written by Coleridge and Wordsworth. Which one of the following poems was a part of lyrical ballads? So Tintern Abbey was the part, and also it was end of it. Wordsworth was appointed as laureate, like poet laureate of England in 1843 till his death. So 1843 में वो poet laureate बना. The number of sonnets written by Wordsworth are 523. Which of the following verse form was not employed by Wordsworth? So it was heroic couplet. So he wrote in sonnets, odes, lyrics. Which family member does the poet address in 5th section of Tintern Abbey? So he talks to his sister. He addresses her. The river symbolizes the river. Why? It symbolizes the spirituality. So he's talking about his own spirituality, the spiritual emotions that he's getting out of nature. Which section appeals the sense of sight in Tintern Abbey? So it is section 2. That is so sensuous as far as sense of sight is concerned. What are the themes of Tintern Abbey? So all these are themes of it. Influence of nature, power of human mind, the memories from the past. William Wordsworth wants to be remembered as the worshipper of nature. So he was poet of nature, prophet of nature, worshipper of nature. So Dash is called the spiritual autobiography of William Wordsworth. So this is lines composed a few miles above Tintern Abbey. This is the complete title. Or this may be called the spiritual autobiography. Otherwise, his real autobiography is the Prelude itself, which is his best work and the longest work. What type of meter does Wordsworth use in Tintern Abbey? So it is iambic pentameter. Which of the following is a notable adjective used to describe the river? So he calls it Sylvian. What is the name of the river mentioned in Tintern Abbey? So it was River Wye. W-Y-E. Tintern Abbey is written in blank verse. What year was the poem composed? So it was composed in 1798. How long it has been since the last time the speaker toured the river? So it's been 5 years since he came here last, and after that he could not come. It was gap And now when he comes again, he is filling in that gap and finding his pre and post experiences. What does the speaker imagine as responsible for smoke that was rising? So it may be a hermit who was there and who may be lighting a fire, जिसकी वजह से smoke freeze से ऊपर जा रहा था. So एक hermit की cave हो सकती है वहाँ पे. What is the speaker of the poem reflecting on? So he's reflecting on his past. What is overall theme of the poem? So it is how people's views change over the time. The main theme of the poem is immortality of soul. The language used in the poem, Ode on Intimations of Immortality, is common, which is for common people of England. The poet laments on being able to see the glory of not being able to see the glory of his childhood. Like he says that when I came here as a child, I enjoyed nature, but then he says that I cannot have that enjoyment now. Ode on Intimations of Immortality was written in parts in 1803 and in 1806. The child's entire life will necessarily be endless. So it was endless imitation. The poet beholds 6 years boys imitating some plan. So that's within this poem. कि वो बच्चे को देखता है कि 6 साल का बच्चा किस तरह प्लान कर रहा है, किस तरह सोच रहा है, किस तरह वो गोद से निकल के जाता है और खेलता है, नेचर को देखता है. Which specific month is mentioned in the poem, Ode on Intimations of Immortality? So that is May. The waterfalls and echoes of mountain restored him to his strength. Like he came here for his charging, he got his spirit renewed within the mountains, and this energy was enough for him to spend more years in London. In poet's views, the life is sleep and forgetting. Wordsworth is known as worshipper of nature. In 10th stanza of Ode on Intimations of Immortality, the poet urges bird to sing. Wordsworth creates a picture of rainbow fading in the sky. So rainbow की picture बनाता है वो. Who does the speaker refer to as a prophet in the 8th stanza from the poem Ode on Intimations of Immortality? So that is himself. Ode on Intimations of Immortality is an ode because it's addressing. Which of the following is not a natural feature listed in the first lines of Intimations of Immortality? So that is C. Otherwise, he discusses streams, meadows, groves. The poem Lines Composed on Westminster Bridge is written by Wordsworth. The poem Line Composed upon Westminster Bridge was written in 1802, September 3. Dear God is exclaimed by the poet as an expression from the same poem. So it is an expression of wonder, that he is wondering that how could people sleep and miss this beautiful view that he is getting from the Westminster Bridge. London is described as a mighty heart in the final line of the poem, Lines Composed upon Westminster Bridge. That mighty heart is sleeping. Sonnet is a poem of 14 lines. The form of sonnet came from Italy in English literature. Petrarchan sonnet थी जिसको उन्होंने follow किया. Then there was Spenserian sonnet. Dull would be he of soul who could pass by. So seeing that view, Wordsworth says that a person who can see the view and does not contemplate on it and passes it by, he or she would be dead of or dull of his soul. The beauty of morning is compared to a garment. One of the themes of poems lines composed of upon Westminster Bridge is nature versus civilization. So here the bridge shows that all the factories are resting now. He sees it by standing on a Westminster Bridge. So it is a famous bridge from where you can see the Hampton Court, the Royal Palaces, all the buildings in one, the Big Ben. So from there, he sees that people are sleeping, chimneys have not yet started to produce the smoke. It means that factories are not working. So this is the time that should be cherished by the people, but unfortunately they do not. The houses of London seem asleep, like all the people are sleeping or in ignorance. So these are MCQs from Wordsworth.